Good evening. Today is Friday, January 31st, 2025. Jump date for Monday the 3rd. All right, let's go. Well, no setups going into Monday. When you're at a high level like this and then the market reverses, it changes things dramatically from bullish to somewhat bearish. And I'll flesh that out in just 1 second. I'm just not seeing a whole lot to get excited about at this juncture. There are some shorts setting up, as you can see, but for now, let's just sit tight, especially in this wide and loose and choppy market. KGS coming back in a little bit of a bummer, but longer term still looks pretty darn good. As you can see, again, the shorts are setting up. I don't see any reason to go after them. One thing I did want to show you, like the A-Lab, for instance, this is one we were just looking at right here as a potential long. And sometimes we need a deep pullback and then they stall out, and this is more than a deep pullback because of the gap, but it becomes an inflection point. So that's one of the things that's kind of interesting, that's something that can be bullish and then quickly change to bearish. And that's kind of the environment we're in. Let's take a look at the overall market, and then we'll drill down a little bit. Let's take a look at the piece first. So this is what I'm saying. So notice we were just off of all-time highs. In fact, I guess we probed all-time highs earlier today, but then we reversed, so that's obviously a bit of a bummer. Not the end of the world, but a bummer nonetheless. We're down about 0.5% on the day. The P's at least were down. And it does have them stalling at the prior high. So yesterday's action looked a heck of a lot better than today's. And when you're, again, at these high levels, one or two up or down days can make all the difference in the world. Just kind of let you know that's the nature of trend following. You spend a lot of times waiting for that trend. NASDAQ looks a little bit uglier than the P's. It rallied up and hit a little bit of this resistance up here before coming back in. The moving averages, though, have turned up or an uptrend proper order in these major indices. Same the Rusty, of course. Rusty 2000, it's worked its way up to the 50, but then kind of stalled out there. It still looks toppy longer term. Some of these areas probed all-time highs like cybercomputing before coming back in. Robots, a bit of a bummer. They just tried to break out recently, and now they came back in. Robotics, I suppose, is the correct name for that. Bitcoin tried to rally out of its base up here, but then came back in by the end of the day. So that's obviously still stuck in this sideways range for now. So I would avoid that unless it can get out of that range. Now, gold actually closed at brand new highs in here. Gold stocks, though, not really following suit. As you can see, they came back in. So we'll have to keep an eye on these stocks, see if anything eventually sets up. Biotechnology, nice rally there before coming back in. It has been trying to bottom out lately. I wouldn't get too excited here unless it can really push toward those longer-term highs. Software kind of stalling out a little bit at the 50. So we're kind of back in the mixed mode. That's sort of the theme. Again, tonight, it's a reoccurring theme, obviously, but it's a theme again tonight. Major drugs trying to bottom out, but stalling out a little bit today. Platinum actually caught a bid, beginning to break out from these low levels. Nothing to get too excited about there just yet. Just thought I would show you what's happening. Sky Computing tried to rally to all-time highs and then came back in. So stalling at the prior highs. One or two big up days were broken out. It looks fantastic. One or two big down days, and you're back to the 50. And you're back again in the soup. Speaking of the soup, NASDAQ Composite, kind of back in the soup here, as you can see. I'm sorry, the semiconductors. I like the semiconductors to go up, as I do the NASDAQ too. Maybe that's why I'm thinking that. But anyway, you can see they rallied up before coming back in. So that's a bit of a bummer, stalling in this resistance. As I've been saying ad nauseum, the longer we stay below this resistance, the more important this resistance becomes, or more substantial, I should say. Take a look at the home builder, selling out fairly hard. Looks like a top remains in place there. Telecom, none of those areas that probe brand new highs before coming back in. And it's right at these all-time highs. So if it goes a little higher on Monday, then it looks pretty good. If it comes back in, then it looks like it stalled at the prior high. So I guess the point I'm trying to get to is we are a bit at an inflection point, and that's just perfectly normal when the market is at or near these brand new highs. One more new high probe, financials probe toward new highs, and then came back in by the end of the day. They look okay, but again, one or two big up days would be great. One or two big down days, then they're stalling out. So let's just let things shake out a little longer. I know we spend a lot of times letting things shake out, but that's the secret to trading. And when you plot these indices longer term, as I've done recently, you'll see how wide and loose and all over the place they've been. Anyway, I think that's about it. I will be checking in throughout the weekend and keeping an eye on crypto. So if you want to hit me up. Feel free to message me on Facebook if you want to keep things more private. You either do that or shoot me an email. Everybody have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk again on Monday, if not sooner. Thank you so much.